Good morning, ladies. What are you talking about? No gossiping, girls.
Welcome to the Massaro Community Farm. My name is Jason Morrill. I'm one of the board members that helped start the farm. It's a town-owned piece of property here in Woodbridge. It's 57 acres, but as you can see, most of it is all wetlands, so we have some nature trails going through the back. But the primary focus for us is up here in front. We've got approximately 7 acres under cultivation, a few more areas that we need to examine and expand into. We grow organic vegetables here, and people purchase either at the farmer's market or through a CSA, which stands for Community Supported Agriculture. It's a business model where you pay for your food in the winter and pick it up in the summer. So you give the farmer that financial stability all through the spring and early summer to get the crops growing. So in addition to the farming, we do educational programs here, and beekeeping is one of them. We have a great partnership with the Connecticut Beekeepers Association. I'm a member as well. We're going to take a look at some of the hives today. I'll allow Gilman to give the details on that. All right, go ahead.
Gilman Muchai, I'm with Connecticut Beekeepers Association. I've been a beekeeper for close to 30 years. And I'm just all excited about the new season. Everything was late, but hopefully, we're going to have a chance to look at more bees. There are 3 castes in the beehive: drones, males, worker bees, which are unfertilized females, and queens. And no, technically only one queen. Only the queen and the females can, workers can sting. Very rarely the queen, but most likely the workers are the one that can protect the hive. Originally, this sting was used as a shaft from a queen to deposit the egg in the cell, and that gradually was transferred from the shaft, where they didn't use much, into a defending mechanism. When we approach the bee yard like we're doing here today, safety should be paramount. Safety is the main issue. That's why proper protection, bee suit is fine, pollination jacket is fine, but make sure you tie things up nicely, and somebody may help you, check you out, see everything is fine. So gloves is important, as if you're a new beekeeper. No perfumes, no garlic smell, no hairsprays, no shorts. Those are the few little things we can do to minimize the reaction we get from the bees when we open their hives. And finding a day like this is another way of minimizing the reaction the bees have. We basically open the hive. We like somebody opens the roof of our house. We're gonna react. We're not be happy either. So the plan today is to hopefully inspect the hive here. A lot of you are new beekeepers that are waiting for your packages. We're going to do what they call dry package installation. A lot of talk is and lectures are done on beekeeping and installing packages. Beekeeping is one of those things that you ask 10 beekeepers the same question and you get 11 answers. But in my book, as long as you respect the bee biology, those are things unchanged. So beekeeping should be like applied bee biology. Even if we take a different path, we all will go there. So as long as we respect bee biology, I'm fine with any method. We're going to try to open a hive to or inspect a hive from the winter. It's going to be something that I haven't seen these hives this year, so I don't know what to expect, but we'll discover it, together. Lighting the smoker is the first. I've been beekeeper for a while, and see, I failed again. It's always challenging to keep it. The whole thing is to keep it warm and hot, and then you can add gradually. Okay. Smoking masks those pheromones that the bees technically emit when we open the hive. Those pheromones that tell the other friends there that we are under attack, let's say. I mean, I'm humanizing it, but so smoke is the one that really, masks that thing. It's in the bee world, it's a chemical world. There is no, they don't speak English or French or German. So 1 or 2 puffs will be enough for the beehive before you open it. And you don't want to really, it has to be cold smoke. So you don't want to burn their wings. So how do you know it's a cold smoke? If you have a barefoot like me, you can tell it's cold.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So you collect pine needles.
Yeah, pine needles are, it's like renewable energy, right? It's they're out there, they're cheap. I don't pay a lot for my pine needles. So 2 minutes, 1 minute passed, one more, and gradually open up. Try not to make noises. I said not noises, right? Always look in the cover. Sometimes the queen may be there. You always try to look for that. There are 3 castes in the beehive. Drones, males, workers, which is the majority of bees, and then a queen, technically one queen, but not all the time. You see, they're trying to fan themselves in and getting back in the hive. It's sunny today. There is no wind. That means our inspection, it's a perfect day for inspection this time of the year. If it's cold, I'll be worried about leaving the hive too open. But this today is forgiving. So the bees probably will have the same feeling. They'll forgive us. Or so the first job as a beekeeper this time of the year in an overwinter hive is to assess how things are in the colony. And unfortunately, we have to be intrusive. We have to open things. We cannot assess things only by the way they're flying. So we're going to open a few frames here. You see three parts of this hive. This is the bottom board. This is the first deep body, which is used mostly for brood rearing, and the second deep body for brood rearing in New England. And this is normal configuration for overwintering. And then you have a medium super, that's used for honey, but also can be used for overwintering as a honey reserve for the winter. So let me open this up. Bees don't know beekeeper, they react. So there is no, they have a short lifespan, and they're not going to, recognize me. Now, we have any experienced beekeepers here? Yes, what do you see from there?
Excellent brood.
Yeah, brood pattern. What he's saying, brood pattern is, this is the brood, the young that are sealed, and around there should be eggs, and here we have honey. I'm going to turn around. These are regular workers, brood, eggs and young larvae, and then you have honey. And that's the textbook. I'm looking for the queen. I don't see a queen here. I don't have to see the queen in every inspection. As a new beekeeper, you're going to have a tendency to try to, you want to see the queen. That's the queen, right? Everybody wants to see the queen. But by trying to do that, you're going to open up a hive so much, and with being unexperienced, you're gonna waste a lot of energy the bees require to warm up the hive. Every time we go in the hive, you know, we're disrupting their thermoregulated environment.
Before you move on, Gilman, can you tell us why that is a good brood pattern?
Because there was not much interruption here. There are only a few cells that were not filled, and they're probably filled, but it's not. Basically, you have a queen going solid, like
Okay.
see.
Yeah.
There are certain parameters, but this is a nice
It's a nice solid
brood.
clump
Yes,
rather than
yes,
okay. Gotcha.
and that's an indication of a good, healthy laying queen and a good colony.
Thank you.
Is that wax comb or is it plastic?
The comb?
The
Oh.
comb.
Oh, this is wax, of course,
That's
but the foundation is
foundation,
plastic.
that's what I
Yes,
mean.
the foundation is plastic. Okay. That is another frame. I see eggs. I see, you know, nice brood pattern. I'll go around.
What's this?
That is burr comb, they call it.
Oh, okay.
That means the bees need certain structures to communicate from frame to frame, and sometimes they build it like that.
Well, you have to take it up.
I mean, you know,
What is the name again?
burr comb.
Where are the eggs that you see?
I see them.
Thank you.
If you don't see them, they should be eggs.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, is that like I see something with a little white dot at the bottom?
Yes,
Is that
yes,
it?
yes.
Oh, okay.
The queen can lay. A queen can mate on air with up to 20 drones, and that's how nature basically ensures diversity. So you can, you know, if you mate with one drone, you know, and that drone is not doesn't have the right genes, the colony is doomed. So more drones the queen mates, they have different diversity for the workers. So, and they create what they call subfamilies. Yes.
What's a carniola? Which Russian? Is that the word?
No. It's a carniolans are in the Balkan Peninsula. They are darker. In Slovenia, Croatia, ex-Yugoslavia, Albania, Macedonia, Bulgaria, Greece, and those are it comes from those areas. They're native.
What's best bee to buy?
The one you can. What's the best bee for our
Around
area?
here,
For our area, I mean, as I said, beekeeping is a matter of opinions sometimes, but I think.
For beginner?
I think no. What's good for a beginner is good for an experienced one. I think the dark carniolan bees plus Russian bees genes are better. The Italians like to produce a lot of brood, and they can starve in the winter if it's not a good honey flow. But there is no one single answer. I've had Italians, I've had carniolans are good. I personally like carniolans. That does not mean you should not like them or like them.
So shall I combine together for
I don't
different...
think you can combine them.
Oh.
I mean, you can combine. You can have different hive here, one carniolan. Yeah, of course, but not. You can have only one queen in a hive. So,
When we're going in the hive like that,
Yes.
and this, you see how the sides of the frame are sticky. Are we supposed to be cleaning this off? See
That is yes. You can when everything is nice, and that would be a good idea. But you have to. I'm here to explain
Yeah.
today. I don't want to really,
No,
have
I'm
the
just
bees.
wondering.
Yes,
yeah,
you can,
yeah,
of
okay.
course. Always put the frames tight together, so they build the comb right. So, any ideas? I'm just gonna use a little bit smoke. Any ideas what we should do now?
So you don't inspect all frames, just the middle.
I just I inspected the one I needed to know there is a laying queen, efficient laying queen. I like a brood pattern. Now I'm thinking ahead. Beekeeping is all about anticipation. You know, when you look at the hive and you see what is the strength here, food sources. You tip the hive and you can judge very high tech. You can judge the strength or how heavy this hive is. And this one is fine. It's not super heavy, so may need some feeding if we have to. Do we have any patties? Yeah. But also we are in a good season now, so some feeding may be good, to stimulate the queen rearing. This time of the year, I think we should reverse this hive. Reversing means this one goes bottom, this one goes here. So basically the bees go up, they grow up. So if we leave the hive the way it is, these two are going to be empty and eventually it's going to be crowded. And bees going to perceive this as a crowded area and they're going to swarm. So reversing is one way to let the bees expand and also to make sure that they don't swarm, they don't feel crowded.
How frequently? Annually or a couple times?
Annually, of course. Sometimes some people do it twice a year after 2 weeks, but at least one. There are one good way to reverse and a bad way to reverse, the right way and the wrong way. You don't want to interrupt their brood sphere. Most likely it's right around here, but in this case, if we don't reverse now, these bees can swarm in a matter of a couple of weeks probably.
So why don't you add another super on top? Should have another
Because there is always a limit where you can go. What about this one? This is empty. They're not going to go down.
Okay.
See this one? This is the second one.
So they always work up.
They like that. Yes. There is a vertical and horizontal movement.
Now, could the queen be in this box?
Yes. Most likely the queen is there, but we don't have to. I'm just gonna see where we are with this frame.
Do you have an opinion on the queen excluder?
I have an opinion on anything, especially in queen excluders.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Oh,
Now
oh my
you have here eggs. You can see the eggs. You can get this frame. You see larvae, young larvae. And you see right here. Yeah. Eventually, with some experience. Yes. I'll bring them back. There are three. The queen lays the egg and stays leg in 3 days. The first day is straight. Second day a little bit bends, and the third day lays down, and the fourth day it hatches into a larvae in the C form. How are these bees so far? Are they aggressive? Are they passive aggressive?
Gentle.
All right. Just want to open one more, and then I'll do the reversal. Okay. I have to remind them that I'm still in charge. Otherwise, they'll. You know what happens.
Are you smoking your hands just in lieu of wearing gloves?
I'm smoking my hands to make sure that there is not a smoke that's really hot, and also when you smoke your hands or your clothes, they're not going to really, sting you as much.
Oh.
That's another way of, as much, right? Everybody, has a different tolerance to stings. I mean, it's like when they say, "Does your dog bite?" Or is your dog friendly?
Dog.
There are, dogs react. I mean, most of the time it's humans' fault. Sometimes dogs have predisposition. Yeah, you have larvae here too. But also, certain people can tolerate a sting or two more than the others. Some people just see one sting and they run.
What? May I
Yes.
ask you, what's this?
This is honey.
Oh, this is honey.
This is the business we are in.
Oh.
This is why we're here. one of the reasons why we have that. Yes, that's a sealed honey from last year.
Oh, wow.
Is that still good?
You want to try it?
Yeah.
Honey never goes bad.
If I give it to you, you're gonna get bees up close to you, right?
Oh yeah, that's true. That's okay. That's all right.
Oh, beautiful.
Oh,
So this is the bees seal it.
wow,
Yeah,
it's beautiful.
and you're gonna see how they're gonna clean this too.
Wow.
Basically, when the moisture content gets to 18% or so, the bees go and get nectar, and nectar moisture content is 80%, 80. And they bring it in the hive, and they share it, and they spread it, and they fan it. They lower the moisture content, they cure it, and then when it's lower to 18% or so, they seal it, and that's what we took off. Wax.
80.
Is it thicker maple syrup or honey?
All I know is it's 40 gallons of
Any New Englanders here?
Oh, that's what I was thinking.
Honey is thicker, I think. Honey, yes. 1 pound of 1 gallon of honey is 12 pounds, right?
Wow.
Yeah. And 1 gallon of water is 7 to 8, I think.
Pints a pound, the world around.
Yes. I'm from old continent myself, so it's all new to me. But all right, you see how the bees congregating here to keep warm the eggs. See how they're like layers and layers. You know.
That's beautiful.
So in nature, it's all how we do things. How the bees react to us. That's the case. There's a lot of other So we're gonna put this together, and we're not gonna leave them more open, expose them to weather. But I like the sun. I like the no wind. So I'm positive. You can chill the brood if you overdo it.
So the problem with the wind is that the temperature.
Yeah. It's like skin contact. The same problem we have. So the idea is, and I try to go by this. If it's good day for us, it's a good day for bees. It's like seriously.
Yeah.
Okay. Oops. Okay.
Wow, even bees down there.
All right. I'm just gonna clean up for a second here. There are some dead bees here from the winter, and this is one of the chores of beekeeping.
Is that normal?
Yes, this is more than normal.
So what is that? Is that paper?
Oh, that's paper.
Wax?
I think they put some kind of the same pollen patty.
Oh.
Yeah.
Is that a varroa mite tray?
Yes. We can look what's in there, but most likely it's compromised because a lot of other stuff came in and does not show much because we haven't had a previous count or anything. So I'm not gonna. But you can see varroa mite there, dead ones.
Can you show them to us?
Okay. That's the main culprit. That's enemy number one of bees and beekeepers.
So where does it come from?
99%.
How does it get to the hive? What is
The varroa is original host of varroa is a different species. It's Apis cerana that originated in Asia, and sometime and that used to be called Varroa Jacobson. That was discovered 100 years ago. Jacobson was a gentleman who discovered that. When it changes host from Apis cerani, which is it's an Asian honeybee, to European honeybee, Apis mellifera, they changed the name to Varroa the Destructor. Yeah, it can be spread from bee to bee. It can be spread. It can be the bees can drop it in the flowers, and the next bee from a different hive can go and get it. So Varroa is basically gets on the body of a honeybee and punctures it and feeds. Actually, it's in the larvae. That's where it stays, and then it multiplies and comes back. But as long as there are beekeepers willing to work with bees and do the right thing, there is still hope in beekeeping. Yes. Now what we're going to do here is reverse, and reversing means this. Okay.
That was the top one.
Yeah, that was the top one. Yes.
I don't see an entrance reducer. Do you not use one?
This
or
is
just-
the entrance reducer,
just
the
the
mouse
mouse
guards, yes.
Okay.
Gilman, why don't you take the whiteboard out and leave it out now?
Underneath?
Yeah.
Why? It's still cold.
Air circulation.
Too cold.
Yeah, I think.
Okay.
You can do that later. Yeah. I've overwintered successfully without it too. So if you want me to go that way. But
You think it's still too cold?
it's not beneficial right now.
Okay.
It's still too cold. See, the bees are still clustered. That's an empty one.
But the idea of that was to show the Vera mites. That's why you leave it in all year, no?
That's true too. Yeah. See, we're getting to that. I said 10 questions, 11 answers. That's normal.
I'm waiting for the 12th one.
Basically, yeah, that's the reason you have, so you can monitor the varroa droppings, you can monitor varroa when you treat, so you have a good understanding. Understanding when you are with varroa is one of the key parts of being successful beekeeper. So you always have to know where your hives are and report the varroa, and that's done through monitoring or varroa test. I would highly recommend to master one of the tests like sugar roll or that's for Lisa, right?
Yes.
They're bowling, they're cold, they need to get inside. They're all workers.
Can't wait for the kids to see me do that.
Yeah. It's a great party trick.
Outside, there's
Oh,
someone
careful,
outside.
Oh, shall I?
She got some bees on there.
Excuse me. Shall I move?
No, I know what I'm doing. Trust me.
I don't want to squish.
When you work in the hive, you may squish something, but we should not squish more than we absolutely have. You know what I mean? So one way of doing it is doing gradually.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
I know you're panicking. You thought I was
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So gradually, even if you do gradually, eventually you're gonna really do some damage. But the strength of a hive is not the single bee; it's the group, the unit, the colony. As long as we protect that, and also we should make sure that there no queens are involved in that squishing.
And this is the bottom
hard
one,
to
so you're
see
just making it,
Yeah.
flipping it.
It's not hard. It's just we didn't look for it.
Right.
So this is empty. So this is half empty. This is empty. What we just did here, we bought this hive. How many weeks, Jason?
3.
Yeah, at least. So within 3 weeks, if I was, if it was my hive, I won't even be worried about this hive. It's perfect. It's done. I like the queen. This is a pollen patty to install. This one has some sugar, some other protein.
Where do you buy that from? Anywhere?
There are basically a lot of places you can. So I'm gonna put it here. Try not to damage anything.
That's pretty important on a new package.
Yeah. And they're gonna, next to the brood. Everything you try to influence, especially in a weather that's not necessarily full summer, you have to do next to the brood because that's where they get it.
Okay, so it's not necessarily that you're putting it on the bottom, but you're putting it on the bottom because you flipped it.
Yes, right
Okay.
there, right there. Now, let's do the thing again.
Do they normally feed from the bottom up? Or does it matter?
I think that's their tendency.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is empty. You see,
Okay.
nothing here. So if you left it here, there will probably
They
be
just
still.
spread.
They would not perceive as space as much as Now they have nice queen.
Now the queen mates once a year. Is that how that?
Once in her lifetime.
Once in her life.
Sucks,
Really?
right? So you don't want to have that here. There is a big space between the brood and you know, top.
So you have 3 brood chambers now?
You have 1 deep, 1 medium, and 2. So ideally you have, in a few weeks, the bees, there will be no brood here.
Because they're going to work their way
Because
up.
they'll move it up here.
Yeah.
And now you can change this one here and put it on top, plus another deep, another super of honey. Most likely this colony will produce honey unless we split it to make nukes or something. Nukes are the another way.
And 2 medium?
If you had a queen separator, would you have left the super on top and just switched the 2 blocks?
Sorry.
If you had a queen separator on between the
Queen excluder.
excluder between the
Now,
deep-
to answer the question on queen excluders, who asked that? Yes, queen excluders are a piece of metal or can be mesh of plastic, or I've seen all kinds. That the distance between those pieces of metal is small, so a honeybee can work with or go through, but the queen, which is larger, cannot. So basically, if you want to exclude the queen from this area, you put the queen excluder in between. So the bees can work and fill up with honey. That's technically why it's used. But the queen cannot lay eggs. My approach to that is, and that's not only my approach, that sometimes they call it a queen excluder is a honey excluder. That means it prevents the bees from going there, it makes it harder, and that's normal. So I have a higher tolerance to brood into in the queen supers, in honey supers. And if you wait 2 more weeks, that brood will emerge and bees will fill it with honey. Then you can extract it. You know, for those who follow me, right? That's the main concern. I use queen excluders if I need to do comb honey, which is a specialty honey. You definitely don't want any brood in the comb honey. Have you seen honey is consumed liquid or comb? Pieces of comb, that was the only way honey was consumed, years back before the invention of electricity. You go to the store in New England, in 1800s probably, they cut you a piece of comb, piece of paper, they weigh it, and they sell it to you. Now, and you eat it like that. You know, we lost that, but we lost that tradition because everybody wants that liquid honey or raw honey or something. So if I produce raw honey, comb honey, I definitely use the queen excluders. But with time, you'll figure it out. That's another piece of. It's not necessarily this week.
So when you eventually move this back up on top, it will become a honey super again.
That's correct. You can definitely use that for honey super, even if it's used as a brood.
And how about the old frames in there? Do you change them?
I'm not going to go that today, but technically this is a good time to move some old frames and put some new ones. Probably within a few weeks when we have some honey nectar coming, strong honey nectar coming, stronger than now. Because in order for the bees to build the combs right, they have to have stronger honey coming in or you have to feed them. And there is no stronger honey now, and I'm not feeding now, so any frame I put in with foundation, they're not going to build as nicely, or probably they're not going to even touch it. I'm going to do more damage by doing that now too early. When you see the bees bringing in nectar a lot, which is probably hopefully within a couple of weeks or so, they start to, then you can immediately do those things. You can take those things now out and leave it even empty, but putting a foundation now, it's not, I would not do that.
Gilman, can I ask you a question about package installation?
Yes.
When you're transporting your bees from your pickup place, is it best to keep them in like the back of a pickup truck or in like the trunk of the car or where?
How many packages are you getting?
2.
2. Get them inside the car.
Okay.
And then put them down and put the AC on.
Oh, really? Keep them cold?
Yeah. Make sure there are no bees, or if there are bees flying, you just open the windows, they'll fly out. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure about how they react to where you put them in the truck with the wind coming. It's an unknown zone. Mm-hmm. But so this is one way to inspect the hive. There are other ways to do it. This is how I do it. And this is the benefit, or this is one of the magic parts of beekeeping. It takes us from our busy lives and focus on very simple things in tune with nature. With the modern life, sometimes we forgot that. We're rushing and rushing and rushing,
Yeah.
and we think we're going somewhere, and we still don't, look, we're confused. So this one gives us a pause, a moment of connection with the nature. And I think we are all here, and we think we are here because of bees. Actually, bees are just a vessel. Bees are only one way to go there where we're going. And this is the way we chose to do it, through bees. But, sometimes I get philosophical about things, but...
I can relate.
Yeah. All right, let's move on to a package. It's going to be a dry one. Installing a dry package is a term that's used when there are no bees. Unfortunately, we had a week ago or so, we had a supplier bringing packages, and it was so difficult to keep them alive, uninstalled till now. So we were running through some logistic problems. So instead of not doing it, I'm going to show you a simple way to put it in, and eventually you're going to use your imagination and do the right thing.
Common sense.
Yeah, common sense.
Now, would you talk about a nuke versus a package and why you choose one or the other?
Yes. Are we here? Good or no? Let me see. Let me see. Where should I put it? Here? Okay. I'm not sure if we have the right stuff.
We got a
here.
deep count here.
Okay. All right. Let's put this one.
You okay? I know, I was thinking the same thing, but it's empty, so I was like...
This is not. All right, let me take this out. I'm just going to pretend this is not front doors. These are some colonies that we need to clean up. All right. You getting nukes?
Yes.
Okay. Does anybody know what is a nuke, or does anybody does not know what? Yes?
Like the nuclear family?
Yes.
The
It's probably a
drone, the
Latin
queen,
word,
and
right? Nucleus. Latin or Greek? I'm not sure. Latin, like most of the things. So it means like the center probably, or the base, or that's probably what it means. And a nuke is a small colony. It's mostly, the big colonies have 10 frames, and then you have another 10 frames. A nuke is it has 5 frames, 4 frames, or 3 frames. So it's a functioning colony. So you have a laying queen. You have bees tending it. The queen is accepted. There is no risk of rejection, and that's the main benefit of the nuke versus a package. So most of the time, it's an established colony, and you have there is no risk of the bees not accepting it. Sometimes, even in packages, the introduction may be a little bit fuzzy, and it is not done. There are certain factors, but sometimes it's not 100% the acceptance rate. In a nuke, technically, unless you do something totally wrong, like squishing the queen or so, you should have a queen. I'm not going to use this now. So it's more money than a package. It does not. Mostly the packages come from south, and with a large volume, sometimes you see that the quality of the queen sometimes is not as where we want it, and sometimes you see the queens are accepted and then they are superseded. So there are a little bit more issues with that. But with nukes, a little bit more. It's like somebody took that risk of acceptance for you. They're a little bit more money. They're less available, especially nukes from Connecticut. Now you see a new way of doing things. People are bringing from south nukes as well, and you always have to be careful not to get something that know your dealer. Have a report. It's like like knowing your butcher. Have a report. Know where you're getting them, and ask around or make sure that you're getting from people that somebody knows. They're gonna, you know, back up their product. Anyway, this is a medium. Some people use mediums as well. They think that it's lighter, but we're gonna pretend that's a deep. Doesn't matter. Bless you. Most of you guys, you're gonna use foundation if you are a new beekeeper. Okay, let me get this. This is a frame, and this is a frame that has drone comb. That means from previous season, the bees build it, and it's much easier for the package to start in a drone comb than in a foundation. And foundation should be something like, I have to find one later, but yeah, this is a plastic foundation. It's used, maybe wax, you know, or plastic. This is what it was used before, and the bees build it up. Yes, thank you. That's a foundation, plastic foundation, commonly used. It's fine. Wax is better, but if you have a lot of colonies, it's so hard work to install wax and plastic foundation. You can install it in like 2 seconds. I did resist using plastic foundation for years and years till I said, you know, the numbers were going so high, I could not really. So I decided to go for this. As long as you're doing things right, as far as installing them when there is nectar coming, or when you're feeding heavily, the bees will build it in wax, and I don't think there is a problem using plastic. This is the strongest point of Langstroth hive, removable point, but it's also the weakest point as well. And now, as beekeepers, you should know when it becomes a weak point. You can be full of diseases here. Technically, if there is American foul brood, you should burn it. I don't think this is American foul brood, but this is just a mess. So let's focus on this. We have a few minutes. You get your package. And this, again, this is my way of doing it. There are a lot of other beekeepers going to explain it differently. Some other totally differently, but basic things. The moment you get the package, you have to observe how much dead bees are in here. As long as there are a few dead bees, even an inch is not going to happen, but you know, it's not a big deal. Bees die during transit. Don't make it a big fuss. There are still a lot of bees there. 3 pounds, close to 10,000 bees. There are 3,500 bees, I say, a pound. But know what kind of bee you're getting, what kind of queen. Are you getting Italian Carniolan? Most likely you're going to get Italian. That's what they do in the south. Treat it right. Cool, not cold, not a refrigeration, but cool, 50 degrees plus. And make sure prepare ahead of time. Have equipment ready before you go and pick up the package. So don't pick up the package and then order your bee equipment. That's not a big, you know, with a nuke, another advantage of the nuke, you can pick up a nuke and leave it, open the entrance and let it for a week or so. And before you can install it, you know, that nuke gives you that flexibility. It's like a small hive. A package, you have to install it ASAP. You bring it in. These are 9 frames here. Normally it should be 10. Okay, and you open it up like this, right? You take this out, the cover. This is it's a piece of equipment. It's a jar that's filled with syrup from the supplier, so the bees can have some food during transit. And most likely it's going to be empty when you pick it up. So you gradually do this. You use your gloves, use your veils. This is a must. Shake it and take this, and then you can close this up if you feel like for a second. Let's pretend there are bees here, right? And this is the queen cage. So there is a queen here, and this one here should be filled with candy. Anybody have not seen queen cages before?
That was my first surprise last week. I was expecting a cage like this.
Okay.
And I uncovered it. There we go.
I mean, because this is another way. If you're ordering queens from certain suppliers, they're gonna use these probably, or different ones, California, mini California. My point is that this is easier for to put it in the package in and out. That's why they use it in packages more than this. So there is a candy here. Queen candy they call it, serves two things. Feed the queen. Actually, the queen is fed by the bees outside, but in case she needs to be fed, she has something there. And it serves like a time delay release. What's the technical term for it? Fuse, almost. Basically, the bees take a day or two to chew through this queen candy that's less than an inch.
So they adjust.
And they adjust to their pheromones. The bees have been in the same package with the queen, so they may have had time to do that. But this is definitely if it's a queen from somewhere else that never seen the same bees. Most likely, the queen that you get has nothing to do with no relation with these bees. They are shaken from totally different packages. So. Don't move that candy. That candy, unfortunately, I had a story last week that somebody removed the candy because he thought he was doing favor to the queen, or he didn't understand the candy was there for that purpose. So, I have now you have a different proposition. I'm gonna act like you're installing the package on foundation, because that's probably if you have comb and you're installing in a hive, you can put it here like this. Yeah. Make sure that the entrance is not totally, That's how I do it. Okay. But if you have the foundation, and if you're a brand new extra virgin beekeeper, you're not going to have the luxury of a drawn comb, so you're going to have plastic, and you cannot do that in the plastic. It doesn't stay there.
Shouldn't the candy be down, I was told?
Candy can be down.
So that something about dead bees. If the dead bees
actually, candy should be up.
Up. Okay.
In that case, dead bees, you're not going to have you're going to have only one queen in this. You're not going to have attender bees there. But in that case, it's up.
Okay.
Here's the right way for me. If you're doing it, if you have attendant bees, you should go up. That helps. So let's get a stick. Let's get something very.
Hey, Gilman, I gave you some toothpicks.
Oh, you got toothpicks? Oh, perfect. See, Richard is thinking of everything. Almost everything. Oh, perfect. Yes. Thank you, Richard. Toothpick. The same thing with stick. Make sure you're not killing the queen, right? You don't want to shish kebab it. But this is a very, beekeeping is like, I always think of Marines. You have to improvise. You are in the field. You are in the field, and you're not going to really, you don't have the luxury of everything you have in your kitchen or something. So you get a stick, you get, everything that works. And you keep it aside for a second. And now, you open it up. You're going to put this in between these two, somewhere in the center, right? See how it stays like that? Okay. Very simple, very low tech. Okay. Now you have here bees still. Very gentle. I know it doesn't look gentle, but you need that kind of bee. And shake it like this a little bit on this side. Just one more on the other side. And then start dumping in the empty space. No fear It's not gonna, not gonna damage stuff. Try to put some on top of the queen too. Shake here, shake here, shake here, shake here. That's how I do it. And you're still gonna have a lot of bees here.
Dead bees and all.
No, anything you shake. And still you're gonna have bees here. You're not gonna shake every single one. Then you start gradually putting frames. You can use 9 frames because it's going to be a little bit crowded there, and then later on go and put this 10th one. Fine. Now you gently close it. The whole process is not going to take more than 5 minutes. If you have, the important thing is to have this ready. Bless you. You put the super on again. I mean the inner cover. Now, if you put the package in a dead colony that has not had diseases and have frames of honey, they have food. Now you have that time to feed this colony. Even if you had, if you're establishing the package in a hive that with drone comb and some honey, it's still a good idea to feed it. There are different ways of feeding it. There are different feeders. You can put a bottom feeder, you can put top feeder. This time of the year, I prefer the top feeders. You can have it, you can look at the beekeeping catalogs. There are all kinds, but it's a must. And from there, it's going to be, an adventure.
My decision to go into beekeeping is because I wanted to have a symbiotic relationship with them. They're very important to the human race. I researched and I found out that within 4 years of bees going extinct, that the human race would end. So it's very important, bees in our agriculture, because without them, we wouldn't have our farming, our crops, our food,
Can't feed the
or
chickens if you
the
don't
pollination of our trees for oxygen. So they're a very important part in our lives.
So let's say someone is watching and they say, you know what? I like this. I like what I've seen today. I understand more about the bees and I want to help. What would you recommend they do to keep the balance in nature and protect their fellow species?
I would say the best thing to do is look up the flowers that bees would be attracted to pollinating, and if you're able to, plant those in your yard to help, feed them. And
Never spray pesticides.
Not use the pesticides to spray your lawns. Because
try to use more natural things that might keep them, or very organic to keep the bugs away.
Because the harmful chemicals will kill the bees and the butterflies and the ladybugs
and everything else that we need to
right.
So when we're looking to make our lawns look like golf courses, what we're doing is we're destroying, the ecosystem that lives within. And also, we're poisoning ourselves. We're walking on it. We're bringing it inside. Our pets are. And then children.
Anybody,
Absolutely. So, do you have any suggestions as to where people might go to find a more organic solution?
Oh, there's the internet. There are books. There are sites. I know that my local health food store has alternatives because more and more people are becoming aware that these harsh chemicals are hurting us and hurting our environment.
Yes, agreed.
If you have a rapport with your local home and garden store, that would be a good resource for you to ask those questions. How can I treat my lawn in a more natural, organic way so that it's not going to provide chemicals that are going to kill off the bees? And maybe they can offer you some solutions and work with you so that, you're providing an environment that will enable and provide sustainability for the bees.
So we want to promote life.
Yes,
we want to promote life and promote life in its balance. On a spiritual aspect, God has created everything for a purpose. And we as Earth Stewards are here to respect and care for life. Thank you for talking with me. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
And let it be.
Thanks.
Wow. Mark Creighton is we're lucky to have
the state bee inspector.
State bee inspector. So
that's what that says.
Mark,
my daughter made me this hat. So.
Wait, let me get a good. He said your daughter made you this hat.
Yeah,
And
this
the
was a
hat.
Christmas present, so it says State Bee Inspector.
Nice.
So that's what I is.
Yeah. Well, you know what, Mark? I gotta say then, you be the man.
I be the man.
Yeah. So, what do you have to say to those people out there that are just saying, hey, why are we doing a show about bees? What's so important about that?
Well, bees are one of the main pollinators that we have, and there's been a lot of media attention about the demise of the bee or the problems that the bees are facing today, and we need to have healthy bees in order to support agriculture both in Connecticut and within the nation. And without healthy pollinator bees, we're not going to have 33% of the food that we eat. So that's pretty important for a lot of people.
Yes, it is. So I thank you for what you do.
Well, I thank the beekeepers of Connecticut for
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much, Gilman, because
Absolutely.
it was really cool to see you take your hand and just sort of play with the bees there. I was
That is for
fascinated.
your special viewers, of course.
That was great. I was I was expecting you to say, "No, don't try this at home."
No.
Could I get you both to just say, "Let it be"?
Let it be.
Yeah.
Lisa, you're fearless.